comes to tax, we've talked about this before in cryptocurrency, most people like to pull the ostrich maneuver, stick their head deep in the sand and forget all about it. A lot of people also think we got into cryptocurrency to avoid paying taxes, but you need to get your head switched on. We're very much committed to giving you guys the tools to learn about this space, but also to win in it, and the tax man always cometh and he always wants his share. So why not get your tax in order so you can enjoy some of those crypto profits, as opposed to worrying that there's going to be some terrible brown envelope land on your doorstep saying, hey, where's that £150,000 you owe me from taxes you haven't paid? Today we are chatting to Joe from Myna, who are accountancy experts in cryptocurrency, to create a series of content that helps give you the tools you need. So Joe, are you there?
I'm here. Good to see you, Ash.
Good, well thank you for coming on board. As I was saying in the introduction there, a lot of people really put their head in the sand when it comes to crypto taxes. I guess my first question to you is, why is that a bad idea?
I think we all are aware of the run that crypto has been on recently, and I think the real challenge that people are going to have is having a crystallized tax bill and potentially seeing their holdings drop off in the future, and that could give you real cash flow problems. So I think putting your head in the sand is never the right thing to do.
No, I mean, I remember there's that story about the kid in America who was trading, did a whole year of trading, sort of made a load of money, then it went down. He didn't realise that every one of those trades was a taxable event, and then his cryptocurrency was worth less than his tax bill.
Yeah, and that's the real. I'm genuinely worried as well. That's part of the reason why I'm in this is not just because I love the space, but also because actually I'm concerned for people that are general retail investors that are just getting into this on the hype and whatnot, and really not considering the consequences. So I just want to support people really and make sure that they are not in that position where they can't afford to pay a tax bill.
Now, we've chatted before in the past. There are sort of platforms out there you can use for things like accounting. We've featured the guys from there before, which are very good if you've got kind of quite simple cryptocurrency kind of taxation. But we're going to get into this in further kind of modules about what is taxable and the rest of it. But I mean, where's a good place to start for people if they're just getting into this? Is it just about initially having good record keeping, or how do you sort of start off on the right track?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Really, it's all about that record keeping, because ultimately at the moment the rules are really woolly, and like you say, we'll get into it in a bit more detail in future episodes or whatnot. But the rules are very woolly at the moment. So the main thing you can do is have a big pack of evidence that you can throw in front of HMRC if they ever ask you any questions. And as long as you've made a sensible, kind of thoughtful approach to what you're doing, you're going to have very little issues compared to those that don't bother doing anything at all. So for me, just starting with something, getting those records, and remember, not all of the exchanges out there are the most user-friendly in terms of getting data out. So, the earlier you start thinking about that, the easier that process is going to become. And really quickly, one example, Binance used to allow you to export pretty much any historical data you needed. You can now only do 3 months, and you can only do 3 in a month. So again, you need to think about that, because if you can only get 3 months and 3 in a month, you can only get 9 months out in that particular month. So leaving it to the last minute really could cause you some issues.
And also, decentralized exchanges, the sort of Uniswaps of the world and everything, that's a whole different story, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's a real challenge for everybody, really, for us and for the the user at the end of the day, because it is nigh on impossible sometimes to really understand what's going on. And again, that's where the record keeping comes in. It is possible to maintain your records in a different manner that doesn't need to be an export from a system. So yeah, trying to maintain those records as best you can, because ultimately someone's going to ask you a question, and if that was 12, 14, 24 months ago, trying to remember all those trades you did on Uniswap is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. So yeah, being prepared and thinking about it, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things also, and this is going to be the subject of our next video, is a lot of people don't realise what taxable events are in crypto. I've spoken to people in the past who are, I don't need to worry about it because I just moved to Tether and back and forward, and it's only when I go back to fiat that it's an issue. But obviously we know it's far more complicated than that.
Yeah, precisely, and that's one of the biggest challenges. I actually was speaking to someone last week, and I had to kind of repeat myself 3 times around that piece because he kept saying to me, "Yeah, but it's okay because I haven't cashed out yet," and that's absolutely not the case. So yeah, I think like you say, we'll go into more detail in future episodes, but yeah, you basically put it this way: any trade you do of a cryptocurrency is a taxable event in one shape or form. So just if you have that in your mind, you're going to be in a better position than not.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap up this episode here, but generally, the what we're trying to spread from our channel as well, and what Joe's working on is trying to get people informed, get people in a good position. So this, cryptocurrency isn't going away. Yes, it used to be the super wild west. It's becoming, kind of more regulated, more together, but people, I think, haven't quite caught up with this notion of, we don't need to pay tax because it's cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and I think the big message for me is like, we're here to help, we're here to support, we're not here to be HMRC's whipping boys. We're here to support you, and we want to make you pay the least amount of tax that you need to in the most legitimate way. So, don't be afraid. And that's the other thing. A lot of people probably haven't spoken to an accountant before. I spoke to someone again last week who said, I don't know what I'm doing here because I've just been paid from a job for 25 years and blah blah blah. So it sounds silly, but don't be afraid to talk to an accountant. Firms like ours are extremely approachable, and we're on your side, so we want to support you. So do reach out, and yeah, we can help.
Great. Well, we'll have all of Joe's details down below. Also, I've tasked him with sorting out our very complicated crypto sort of taxation situation. So yeah, so that's the plan for us. Is we want to actually be in this the long term. We want to enjoy it, and we don't want to have some sort of horrible end to the story. So my advice, people, is get switched on. Don't put your head in the sand, and join us for the next episode we have on this next week, where we'll be looking at exactly what taxable events are. So thanks, Joe. Look forward to catching up soon.
Yeah, cheers, Ash. Thanks, everyone.